just have some brief things to say before we go ahead and do the actual topic of discussion. Number one, are y'all noticing the quality of today's video? Y'all, not to brag or anything, but I got an iPhone 13 mini, and we have this thing called like cinematic mode. Cinematic mode. This thing makes me look like good, like my lighting is like my complexion, Okay, I'm kind of like boosting my ego anyways. Let's talk about you for a little bit. Number one, thank you for joining me for today's video. I do a variety of content, but one of my most favorite videos, one of my most favorite videos was my poetry reading. I'm not going to go fully in depth to it, but the Spark Notes version. Spark Notes version is this. There's a gym that's like 5 minutes away from me, and it costs like $200 till I get in, and I was like, no, because I'm a cheap boy. Mama raised me cheap, you understand? Mama raised me frugal. I'm joking around too much for today's video. But I stumbled upon a senior citizen community center across the street from that gym, and they had a gym in there, and they were like, yo, $20 a month, we got you. And I was like, yo, that's like amazing. So yeah, I go to that gym, and then they also ended up having a library, and I'm like super cool with them now. And they were like, yo, Vex, that's actually not my real name, but they were like, Vex, like you could like take books as you please. You could return them, you could not return them. And I'm like, mama raised me cheap, and I'm very happy. I do not have a new book for today. We have this book, which is the same one as part one, and I usually don't really do this, but if you haven't watched part one, I would actually highly recommend that. It's like one of my favorite videos that I've made, and I really enjoyed the poetry in this book. It's called The Art of Drowning by Billy Collins. Again, I am no AP English scholar. I cannot tell you what every single one of these poems is going to mean, but I just really enjoy reading sometimes. And so please embark on me on this journey. I should probably tell you to relax. Nah, you already know that. Relax, y'all. Relax. So, we only did three poems in our last reading, and I intend to do around 2 to 3 as well. It kind of depends on the length of the poem. But without further ado, without more talking, let me just go ahead and get started. So the first poem of today is going to be called Water Table. It is on dry, sunny days like this one that I find myself thinking about the enormous body of water that lies under this house. Cool, unseen reservoir, silent except for the sounds of dripping and the incalculable shifting of all the heavy darkness that it holds. This is the water that our well was dug to sip and lift to where we live. Water drawn up and falling on our bare shoulders. Water filling the inlets of our mouths. Water in a pot on the stove. The house is nothing now but a blueprint of pipes, a network of faucets, nozzles, and spigots. And even outdoors, where light pierces the air and clouds fly over the canopies of trees, my thoughts flow underground, trying to imagine the cavernous scene. Surely it is no pool with a colored ball floating on the blue surface, no grotto where a king would have his guests rowed around in swan-shaped boats. Between the dark lakes where the dark rivers flow, there is no fairy waiting on the shore of rock, and no man holding a long oar ready to take your last coin. This is the real earth and the real water it contains. But some nights, I must tell you, I go down there after everyone has fallen asleep. I swim back and forth in the echoing blackness. I sing a love song as well as I can, lost for a while in the home of the rain. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so 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 beautiful. I just want to highlight some sections of this poem that I really, really enjoyed. I really like the third paragraph. Where he says, and even outdoors where light pierces the air and clouds fly over the canopies of trees, my thoughts flow underground trying to imagine the cavernous scene. I think that's so like descriptive. Again, I just love. I love pretty words and pretty paper, and the scene that paints is just so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and then he goes down a little bit further. And he gets into this description of like what it's not, what this water, what this well isn't, right? He's saying that this is no grotto where a king would have his guests rowed around in swan-shaped boats. Between the dark lakes where the dark rivers flow, there is no fairy waiting on the shore of rock, and no man holding a long oar ready to take your last coin. And then he says, this is the real earth and the real water it contains. Like, it's the weight of that sentence. After all that description, just the weight of it. The weight of it. This is the real earth and the real water it contains. Again, I do not know what this poem actually meant, but I really, really like the description of it. Shall we move on to poem number 2? I think so. So the second poem is actually only one page long. One page long. And it is called Reading in a Hammock. With one arm raised, I am holding the Penguin book of French verse over my head, assuming one of the standard positions of summer, looking up into the little sky of words. Around the edges of the book is the larger sky, dotted with clouds and some overhanging branches that appear to be slowly swaying back and forth, as if I were with no. As if I were the one lying motionless, calmly thumbing through Verlaine and Baudelaire while the world around me slides from side to side in the lazy rhythm of a hammock. Whatever is doing the actual swinging would matter little to Apollinaire, who thought religion looked like a hangar on an airfield, and whose angels plucked geese and wore chefs' hats. And the drowsier I become, the less it matters for me. Finally rocked beyond worlds, I close the book on all the drolliers and the anguishing, all the poems that have moved in my hand like butterflies among the flowers of evil. Wow, that's beautiful. Above, a soft light shines through an opening in the 2 dark maples that are the poles of my dangling. A light so pale and violet it is impossible to tell if I am a man of leisure or a martyr to idleness, tied to these trees, condemned to swing gently in the shade until dead. Wow. Another just like really good pacing. And I really like that description as well. I know it's only one page long, but I think the title of this poem was called Reading in a Hammock. So immediately he starts painting the picture of like what it's like to do that, right? He says, with one arm raised, I am holding on to this book called the Penguin Book of French Verse over his head, assuming one of the standard positions of summer, looking up into this little sky of words. That's how he describes it, a little sky of words. I think that's so beautiful. And then he starts describing what else he sees outside of this little sky of words. He says, around the edges of this book, I see the larger sky dotted with clouds and some overhanging branches that appear to be slowly swaying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as if I were the one lying motionless. That sort of description is so beautiful. And then he goes down a little bit further and he says such things like all the poems that have moved in my hands like butterflies among the flowers of evil. That's amazing. He goes further and says, above, a soft light shines through an opening in the two dark maples that are the poles of my dangling, a light so pale and violet it is impossible to tell if I am a man of leisure or a martyr to idleness. Man. That was called a reading in a hammock. Reading in a hammock, reading in a hammock, reading in a hammock. It is currently 11:32 p.m. where I'm at. Tomorrow's workday starts at 6:45 a.m. And so I am going to do one more poetry reading before we get started. The last poetry reading is called Print. In the dining room, there is a brown fish hanging on the wall who swims along in his frame while we are eating dinner. He swims in candlelight for all to see, as if he has been swimming forever, even in the darkness of the ink, before someone thought to draw him in the thin reeds waving in his stream and the clear pebbles strewn upon the sand. No wonder he continues his swimming deep into the night, long after we have blown out the candles and gone upstairs to bed. No wonder I find him in the pale morning light, still swimming, still looking out at me with his one small, spellbound eye. That was the third poem of tonight. I think out of the 3 poems that we just did today, I really, really enjoyed the first and the second one. Again, just like the description of what they can see, what they're feeling, and the usage of that description followed by the weight of like that final statement. Like they were saying, like, this is the real world. This is the real water. I think that's beautiful. But anyway, speaking of beautiful. Hi. I'm like in like a spoiling mood right now. I'm so sorry if that's cringy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm not gonna make this too long, but I hope you have been doing well. I hope you've been doing so well. I sometimes feel like when I do some of these like poetry readings or like other ideas, like I feel like I'm not paying attention to the people that I really, really care about. And it's like this little community that we have, and it's like all these people who are just like so kind in the comment section, and like you guys are liking my videos and like sharing them. It's like, what? Like y'all are so crazy. And so I feel like I want to say, I really want to put it out there that I hope you're doing well. I know that not many people will ask you that genuinely. I know that's not a very genuine question, but believe me when I tell you that I mean it with all my heart. With all of my heart, I mean it. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you're hanging in there, and I hope you're doing the best. And I know I mentioned this in the last video, but I'll mention it again. What is your best? 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 It is your own metric. It is your metric. You define what your best is. You define what your best is. You define what your best is. For some of us, it's just hanging on there day by day. And if that's the case, I'm proud of you. You're doing so good. You're wearing yourself so well. You're resting, you're sleeping, you're getting up, and you're doing it all over again. And I know how hard it is to do that. I know how hard it is to do that. I know how hard it is to do that in this crazy, 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 crazy world. And I know that we have these crazy, 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 crazy minds. But wait. For now, head empty. Head empty. Head empty. Stop the overthinking. Not with me. Not with Vexerone. Not in this channel. When you're with me, you acknowledge yourself. When you're with me, you are gentle to yourself. When you're with me, you understand how beautiful you are. When you're with me, you understand how hard you're trying, and that you should commend yourself for that. And I know how hard that is when other people aren't in the world to kind of tell you how well you are doing. But you're doing well. You are doing well. You are doing your best. You should be proud of yourself. With or without me saying that, you should know that. Every single day, 24/7, you should know that. How amazing you are. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. So hey. To my Vexerone, my community, my people, and the people watching this video, keep making your little impacts in this world. Keep doing your little thing. It's a big world, lots of opportunity, and it's gonna come your way. Oh, believe me, it's gonna come your way. Opportunities are gonna come, and you're gonna take it headstrong. And of course, you're gonna be stressed out for a little bit. Who wouldn't be a little bit stressed with a new challenge? But you take it on. And you learn from it, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Why? Because you are strong, and you are ambitious, and you don't give up. Not you. You amazing little man. You're so cute. All right, I'll stop dawdling. I'll stop rambling. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for just being you. Thank you for being in this world, and thank you for hanging on. Thank you for experiencing life with me. I hope you're enjoying every second, every day, every year. It's an amazing time. So with that being said, have a great night, and I will hopefully, I don't really know, maybe, I don't know, you don't owe me anything, but hopefully I can see you again. So, bye.